everyone, to all New Yorkers, to spread the word, to talk to family members, educators, any community members, but to spread the word to young people across the city that this activity of riding on top of subways is so dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing they can do, and we have to stop it. But the mayor's North Star is that we can accomplish anything if we work together. If we work together, we can save lives. And with that, it's my great honor to introduce the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams.
Thank you so much. This is, we introduce everyone that's here, but one thing I want to include in that introduction, and that's the young people behind us, because it is all about how this experience traumatized not only family members. Is this poster removable? Because I think sometimes when we think about this incident, if someone were to tell me that my son, while he was in school, was subway surfing, the visual in my mind would be, well, children would be children. No, this is what we're talking about. This is subway surfing. It sounds harmless, but it is not harmless. That train that we hear behind you is filled with steel, metal. The third rail is extremely dangerous. Being on top, if you fall, even if the train is not moving, you have the potential of slipping through the cracks of the train. Just a fall is harmful. And when you deal with the elevated platform like the 7 line, which is one of the most frequently subway surfing location, you are actually elevating the level of threat and potential death. This is real. This is just not having fun. It can be fatal. And that's why we're here today. And I'm happy to have the young people who are here as well, because they are going to be the ambassadors to end subway surfing, because it's their colleagues and friends. And when we came together to do the PSA announcement, we lean towards them because they know how to communicate on social media, which is one of the top culprits in this crises that we're facing on subway surfing. Because we didn't know anything about, as a young person growing up in South Jamaica, Queens, we knew nothing about likes. We knew nothing about someone clicking on our photos or pictures. We walked around with a Polaroid, and we were lucky if 13 people saw it. Now you have 30 million people watching your likes. That becomes intoxicating, and it's an adrenaline rush. And then you compete to see who can do something more dangerous on top of the train in the process. And that's why we have changed the dynamic, and we have met this threat head on. As a former transit police officer in 1984, when I became a police officer, there was a one-dimensional approach to patrolling our subway system, and that was on the ground. You had no understanding of what was happening on top of the train. And in fact, I didn't even know what the top of the train looked like. But now, with the introduction of drones and what Commissioner Daughtry, the Deputy Commissioner of Operation, and the Police Commissioner, what we have done, we've changed the dynamics, and we've become more proactive by allowing the drone operation to be incorporated in the heavily used train lines where subway surfing is taking place. It's a combination of the patrol force on the ground. It's a combination of our team at One Police Plaza that's monitoring these lines based on 311 and 911 data. And it is the combination of everyday New Yorkers who see this that's taking place and report it to us. And then it's the young people who are part of the PSAs that we're putting together. So what does it look like based on our analysis? 900 flights, and these flights are pennies on the dollars. This is an inexpensive way of handling the expense of losing a loved one or child. Out of those 900 flights, we had 114 lives we saved because our drones identified the individuals and young people while they were on the train. Here's a number that's startling. Average age is 14. We have young people as young as 9 and as old as 33. Can you imagine a 9-year-old on top of that train? And the young people we've lost, look at the ages of these young people. And so last year, when the governor and I and New York City Public Schools, when we made the announcement of really focusing on having our law enforcement officers going to the homes of those who are caught subway surfing and making sure that we communicate with the family members in a real way, we know how important it is. From 2021 to 2022, we had a 366% increase in subway surfing, and it's solely connected to the social media aspect of this. So we're going after the social media companies and social media platforms to state they have an obligation not to put profit over public safety, and this is so important. What we're doing, we're going to continue to partner with the school chancellor and her team so we can zero in on this major issue that we're facing. You can't lose young people in this magnitude, and oftentimes when we go to parents, Commissioner Daughtry was sharing with me earlier today, when we go to parents and we say their children are subway surfing, they say, no, it can't be my child, it's not possible, this is not happening. We all believe our children are angels. That is what a parent is about. But when we show them the video, when we show them these photos, when we show them how dangerous it is that their child is on top of the train, it has a major impact. And so I want to thank all of our partners, the NYPD, the Chancellor of New York City Public School, Deputy Mayor, Public Safety, the entire team. But most importantly, I want to thank the young people who are here. They can stop this by using their voice, the power of our youth, and going after social media and calling for a change. We saw the power of our young people yesterday when we announced December 23rd being the day off for our young people. It was simply because the young person wrote a letter and said, can we look into this? So their voices matter, and it matters here to tell their loved ones, their colleagues, their schoolmates. Subway surfing is not a game. It is a dangerous, dangerous encounter, and we lost young people, from this last week. One young person was a friend, her and her classmate were subway surfing. One lost her life, the other's in critical condition. This is not what it's like. Parents don't want to have to experience this, and our goal is to eradicate it as much as possible. Again, thank you, DM Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Adams, for your leadership. Our next speaker is the Police Commissioner, Thomas Donlan.
Thank you, Chauncey, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you for your leadership, Mr. Mayor, for bringing us together today to address this serious issue. We're here to reinforce the riding on top of moving subway trains is reckless and unsafe. And I know we all understand that. But it's happening, and we need to think seriously about why. Our children are motivated by social media, are putting their lives at risk on a daily basis. This behavior is dangerous, illegal, and deadly. And the NYPD, along with our agency partners, include many of them who are here today, will continue to do everything possible to stop it. That includes deployment of our transit drone team under the great leadership of Deputy Commissioner Kaz Daughtry, who will explain their mission in more detail in a moment. And I must reinforce that the NYPD uses technology both on criminal, terrorism, and other matters. So it's something that we implore during our daily routines regarding investigations or situations like this. We are using this technology, drone technology, to respond to the thousands of 911 calls. So we get each day regarding subway surfing. Our drones get us to the scene faster. They help us track incidents longer and from a safe distance. And they provide us video we can immediately show to the parents, so the parents can see firsthand the danger their children are putting themselves in. The work is saving lives, but again, we need to focus on why this is happening in the first place. We need to involve parents and guardians before a tragedy happens. proactive approach that we employ here with the NYPD. And as the mayor said, it's time to start holding social media companies accountable for hosting these videos on their sites. We don't glorify violence or hate or any other criminal activity on these websites, and we must stop glorifying subway surfing. Every injury, every death is 100% preventable. So the NYPD will continue to enforce the law under the direction and leadership of our Chief of Patrol, John Schell, and a newly appointed Chief of Transit, Joe Galata. And we're also working closely with the mayor on a daily basis, along with the MTA and the DOE. And our agency partners are educated, our young people and their families, which is so important. We're going to provide guidance and support and appeal to everyone's common sense, and we're going to put an end to this reckless behavior. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Donlin. Our next speaker is the Chancellor of the New York City Public Schools, Melissa Aviles Ramos.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Adams and DM Parker and our Police Commissioner for all being here today. I also want to thank Superintendent Hidalgo and Principal Jorge for your partnership in this district. As a mother of a New York City public school student myself, the thought of our children riding atop a subway car is terrifying and distressing to me on a very personal level. And after having a conversation with Ms. Nazario this morning, I can only say that to imagine her heartbreak is, there are no words. And Ms. Nazario, you have my promise, not only as the Chancellor and as an educator, but as a mother, to stand with you so other families can hear from you, and we thank you for your advocacy and support. I want to talk to you about what we are doing at New York City Public Schools to fight this incredibly dangerous trend. Last year, we launched a campaign in deep partnership with the MTA called Ride Inside, Stay Alive, to raise awareness about this issue. This campaign was designed by our talented students from the High School of Art and Design. Our students made posters that were displayed on MTA subway lines across the system, and they recorded PSAs that were played in subway stations throughout the city. Approximately 450 hard copy anti-subway surfing posters and 500 anti-subway surfing palm cards were hand delivered to over 60 schools in close proximity to the J, M, Z, and 7 train lines. With this campaign, we are amplifying student voice and peer-to-peer messaging to fight the potentially dangerous effects of peer pressure and social media. Our students are our best messengers, which is why we focus on not only student engagement, but student empowerment. We know we will continue elevating student voice to bring attention to this issue. And of course, we also need to directly educate our kids about the dangers of subway surfing. To that end, we have collaborated with the NYPD Transit Bureau to give anti-subway surfing presentations prior to and during the 24-25 school year to approximately 1,300 students. And importantly, we are continuing to engage families. We are continuing to empower families. We just hosted a community safety forum in collaboration with NYPD, the Department of Youth and Community Development, and other city agencies to hear from families and share safety resources from across city governments. I want to thank all of our partners in this work, especially the NYPD and MTA. Across both state and city agencies, we are standing shoulder to shoulder in the fight against subway surfing. Working together and in partnership with our communities, I believe we can put an end to these tragic, devastating incidents and create a safer city for all of our young people.
And that was a news conference there with officials over in New York City as they talk about these subway surfing incidents. We know that a girl did die just days ago over in the Queens area as a result, and it's been something that they've talked about in New York City quite a bit, but they are trying to raise awareness and let people know that situations like this are happening. You are taking a live look over New York City at this hour. I promised you just minutes ago that it would get a little more packed and jam-packed on the roadways, and as you can see, that is exactly what happened.